Nearly every church in the world is built on the words of one man. A man who never walked with Jesus, never heard him preach, and was once his most brutal persecutor. His name was Saul of Tarsus, known to history as St. Paul. But what if the Christianity we practice today isn't Christian at all, but Pauline? What if the real message of Jesus was so radical, so dangerous to the Roman Empire, that it had to be replaced by a version that was easier to control? Today, we perform a forensic audit on the most controversial figure in the New Testament. We are investigating the apostle of the Gentiles to find out if he was a servant of God or a Roman infiltrator. Welcome to the ancient verdict. Everything starts on the road to Damascus. A sudden light, a voice from the sky, and a miraculous conversion. But there are no witnesses to the conversation. We only have Paul as a word for Italiano. In any court of law, this would be hearsay. Why did a man who spent his life hunting Christians suddenly become their leader? Some historians suggest a darker motive. Paul was a Roman citizen, a member of the elite. Was this vision a brilliant psychological operation to dismantle the Jewish rebellion from the inside? The book of Galatians records a public confrontation between Paul and Peter. This wasn't a minor disagreement. It was a battle for the soul of the faith. Peter and the original disciples insisted that Jesus' followers must keep the law of Moses. Paul said the law was dead. Imagine the tension. The men who actually lived with Jesus being told they were wrong by a man who only had visions. Ancient texts from the Ebionites, the original Jewish Christians, explicitly labeled Paul a false apostle and an apostate. They claimed he was an outsider who tried to marry into the high priest's family and, failing that, sought revenge by destroying the faith. Look at the differences. Jesus preached about the poor, the oppressed, and a physical kingdom of heaven on earth, a direct threat to Rome. Paul preached about submitting to authorities and a spiritual kingdom that only exists after you die. One is a revolution. The other is an insurance policy for the empire. Be removant the Jewishness of Jesus. Paul made the religion palatable to the Roman world. He turned a Jewish rebel into a Greco-Roman mystery god. This is why the Roman Empire eventually adopted Paul's version of Christianity. It was the perfect tool for social control. If Paul had never existed, would Christianity even be here today? Or would we have a much truer, purer version of Jesus' message? The evidence suggests that the greatest enemy of the original church might have been its most famous architect. The verdict is yours. Is Paul the hero of the faith, or the man who buried the real Jesus? Leave your comment. No, this one will be a war. Subscribe to the ancient verdict for the history they tried to erase.